All right, guys. So this week for 10 Minute Tuesday, as we've been sitting here talking with our buddy Derek, we've just tried to think about different things that would be a good topic, and we kind of got stuck on something that just made sense to do. And so we're just going to kind of talk about a little bit about life, but also about Derek, what's made you successful so far as a young entrepreneur, in a sense, as a young creator, and what's gotten you to where you are right now.
Don't think it's anything besides saying yes to people. And when you say yes, you deliver. I think it's just something that's makes the difference, is saying yes, being available, and going when you think maybe it's not the best idea, or maybe I shouldn't go, or maybe I'm not good enough to do this, or maybe I'm not talented enough to do this. Saying yes and going and betting on yourself and delivering is better than giving up on yourself before you start. And I know that I'm not the best videographer. I know that I don't take the best photos. I know that I don't have the best ideas, but I'll still say my best ideas if I can. I'll still try and make a good photo. I'll still try and make a good video. So I think it's a lot of you have to believe in yourself, because no one else will. So you, first and foremost, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe what you're doing. And I tell people this, I started pitching small outfitters in South Dakota, in the Midwest, that had 20 plus years of fully booked clients, the same returning clients. Why did they need to spend $1,000, $2,000, any amount of money that they've never had to spend in their last 20 years to be this booked? Why do they have to do that now?
Yeah.
So I had to ask myself that question. I had to think, how can I make my time worth it for the person who doesn't need me? And if you can sell to the person who doesn't need you, you can sell to anybody who does need you. So selling to the people who don't need you, selling to an outfitter who says, I already am fully booked, I don't need you. I'd say, well, yeah, you're fully booked now. But those clients that you've had for the last 20 years, their sons, their daughters are watching their fathers and their mothers go on these trips and pay for these experiences. And they're going to want to go on those experiences themselves, but they may not necessarily want to go with the place that their father or their mother has gone, because they saw some video of some other cool place, or they saw an awesome website of another cool place. So that was my pitch to these people who never needed me, was you could need me one day, and you could need what I can do one day. So it's thinking and selling to people who don't even know that they need you, and trying to prove to them that they do, and that they can make a return on investment on your idea.
But not only that, too, it's and I know you've worked with God knows how many outfitters, but how many times do you realize in the first 5 years that they're doing it, they've cut their prices and everything to get more clients and shit? And so if they're putting out killer content and all this, it's going to get shared, and people are going to want to go there. And so if you're paying money for media, you can, one, raise your prices, make your employees or subcontractors more happy, and just make the flow of everything better. But then also you can make your outfitter and everything better, because you're getting paid more because you have media behind you and your marketing is there.
100%. It's the people who booked the hunts never needed a video or a Instagram to trust the outfitter.
It wasn't a thing 10 years ago.
It wasn't a thing 10 years ago. So now they need that. They need that verification, and in my eyes, they need a hand-delivered experiential video, or a hand-delivered experiential photo series that can show what their money is going to give them when they go there. So I think that's the thing, is making yourself available, but also thinking differently and selling to people who don't need anything sold. And if you can sell to them, you can sell to anybody.
I think you hit the nail on the head with that, dude. I think at the end of the day, as I'm listening to you guys kind of rap about this, essentially what you're trying to say, and what I tell people all the time too, is people are going to take you, as seriously as you take yourself.
100%. Yeah.
And I mean that in both ways, dude. Not just that you have to have confidence to walk into a room and know I can do this job, or I can find a way to do this job. And if you don't believe it, they're definitely not going to believe it. No. But also know when it's time to have a little fun, dude. And get those people to know the real side of you. And the more personal relationships, this is what I think you're the best at. Okay? And this is what I told Carter actually before you came on. I was Derek is one of those people that's confident about the unique things about him. You know what I mean? So when he's there, he's truly authentic. You get to see a little bit of who he really is. It's not just some professional this back and forth. You just really get to look at who you are as a person. I think that is what makes you so special, because it also drives your creativity.
No, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, when people tell you, as a creative, like how to be a creative, it messes with your confidence.
Yeah.
And a lack of confidence does not yield good creativity. So even if you have to make false confidence for yourself to believe in yourself to be creative, like that's a part of my career as well. Is like there was a time where I was like, are my videos even good? Do people need them? Does it make any money back? Like those are all the questions that you get scared of in your head, but you have to believe in yourself and believe that you can sell what you're trying to sell, to have that confidence, like you say. To be like,
dude.
If I can't believe in me, I can't. And at the end of the day, like I appreciate what you're saying, and I take pride in how my parents raised me to just be a good person to everybody and try and leave things better than I found it. So I take that into my work, is like, even if I can't work with a company or I can't get along with creative director or owner or anybody at the company, like on the business level, I want to be friends with them. Like, even if I can't work with the client on a creative level, I want to be like a good person to them. And I want them to be like, hey, I feel like I could call that guy and get a beer. Like, I always want to be somebody that is approachable and somebody who is relatable.
Yeah.
Because I know that I don't know all the answers, and I've been on many meetings in my years where it's just like, hey, I just have an idea. Like, it doesn't mean that it's right, but it's an idea that I have, and I feel like saying it. So you don't have to be qualified to have ideas. And that's something that, like,
or originality.
Like the least qualified people and the least people with the doctor or the PhD or all this stuff in front of their name are really good thinkers, because they don't have to have that validation behind that. And I'm not saying that doctors and those people with those names aren't smart people, but I just like that. Like the idea of like, you don't have to go to college to be a videographer. You don't have to go to college to be a business marketer. You don't have to go to college to own your own business. You just have to figure it out, and you have to learn yourself, and you have to say yes. And Navy SEAL, who I do nonprofit work for with military mobility, always says, you just never tell people no. You say, I'll figure it out.
Yep.
No, can I do that? I'll figure it out.
For sure.
It's not a no, and it's not a yes, and it's not confident, but it's not unconfident. It's just, I will figure it out. Because
be confident that you're going to figure it out. You don't know the answer right now, but you're going to find a way. Yeah,
you don't have to, you never know how to do one thing until you do it once. Like moving, you drive like a big U-Haul sometime. People are like, I don't know how to drive
that truck. Yeah.
How? You've never driven that truck, I'm not a very good singer. Have you really tried? Like, some people are good at singing. Some people should try more, and they could be good singers. So just because somebody said like, oh, you didn't go to college for that, it'd be a waste of your time, is a waste of their breath. Just believe in yourself and believe in what you are really passionate about. And when it comes to the creative process, always trust your gut. Your gut is attached to your brain. Somebody said that on a Joe Rogan podcast, but like, believe in yourself and believe that your ideas are right. And if they're not right, tell the people who paid you to believe that you're right. Be like, hey, that was a bad read, but I'm not always going to have a bad read. Yep. And be relatable. Be like, hey, I made a mistake. Not the right campaign, not the right ad, not the right message, but I want to keep working on it. And that's the thing that I think is most important, is being relatable.
How are you able to be in so many places at once? Because every time I look at my Instagram, I feel like you're just all over the freaking country.
Yeah, and I have
like, how, dude?
Time management, always having a duffel bag prepped. You should always have a go bag with fresh gear.
This is like real.
Yeah, real. Like, you got to have
like
a fresh.
He really means it.
Yeah, you got to have a fresh go bag with like new underwear and socks and pants, so that when you get back from one trip, you can go on the next. But I don't know. You can drive. You can drive. Yeah, you can drive for 8 hours and make 8 different calls an hour each, and you did really good business that day. So yeah, I think being available, always saying yes. Obviously, having somebody to help pay for some of that travel helps. But there's times where it doesn't, like, couldn't afford the hotel room, so I slept in my truck. Couldn't afford the hotel room on top of the gas in my little Jeep Renegade, so I slept like in a tent outside. So you make do, and the one thing you do is you never complain when you get to the site. Like, it doesn't matter what you drove. Like,
doesn't matter where you slept.
It doesn't matter where you slept.
They don't give
care.
a shit. Nobody
Just
knows.
Show up and fucking work. So yeah, that's kind of the thing. Do good work, be a good person, and most of all, over-deliver and be relatable. Be like, hey, we're doing this together.
Because one of my things with being self-employed for so long is, I've had to learn it the hard way, is under-promise, over-deliver. Yeah. Don't promise shit, but, like, work hard.
And like you said, you learned hard. That's the thing that happens in this world. You learn hard. I've formatted a card with a whole day's footage on it. You learn hard. I have had an elk die in frame, but I never hit record. You learn the hard way. Oof. Because that's the best way to learn. So it's like you said, it's like you learn the hard way, but you learn quicker
Yeah.
that way too.
I also want to say, just before we wrap this too, I think another thing that you've pointed out too that's really good, and this is relatable to Carter actually. Like, don't be worried about a rejection or not getting something, or like, dude, just like stay on the track.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot tell you honestly how many times Carter has texted me asking about work or working with us or what we've been up to in the last like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, he's persistent.
Very persistent.
Yeah, if I've got a free day, might as well see if you need help.
100%, dude.
Closed
And
mouth
like that
doesn't
is
get
why
fed.
he's sitting there right now.
He's hungry.
Yeah, hungry.
Hungry, motivated, and if I don't text him back, doesn't mean he's not going to text me tomorrow.
Yeah. Be like, what do we really need? I know
100%.
What do we need?
Yeah, because like, you know, at the end of the day too, like that will get you somewhere.
Oh, and on the whole note of
No
the texting
excuses,
thing,
bro.
In just general, text your friends a couple times because life's busy. And just because your buddy doesn't text you back doesn't mean he's not your buddy.
Yeah,
Sometimes
for
it's
sure.
like the day got busy.
That's true.
Shoot another text. Carter is doing the right thing.
True as
Stop
hell.
being too persistent. Everybody should do that. Like, hey
Yep.
man, life's busy. You got my text. So yeah, like you said,
100%.
be hungry. Closed mouth doesn't get fed, and
Yep.
think for others. Deliver everything for them so it's ready to go when they get it. Don't
And
make
find
them
a
do
way.
it. Yeah, find the way.
Solutions, not problems.
Yeah, don't bring up excuses. Bring up solutions.
Derek,
Exactly.
thank you so much for
Love you,
coming
bro.
on this week's 10-Minute Tuesday. I love you.
Love you guys.
Guys, go follow Derek on Instagram. You will not want to miss a single post or a story because I do love all of your shit.
100%.
Such a genuine human. But guys, be sure to subscribe to everything, including Derek and his ginormous wiener. Thanks so much
beer,
for listening.
The beer.
love
Talk
it.
about the beer, not my wiener. Thanks, Joey. I love you guys, and I love all the Midwest Flyways listeners.
Your wiener is the same size as the can.
See you
so.
guys. We'll see you guys.